one-hand two at Fifth Third Arena. Right at the take tip, Mustafa John Bowl, and it's won by Cincinnati. Underway, the 11-12 Bearcats are 3-7 in Big 12 play.
And both these teams will primarily play man-to-man, but they will definitely play some zone.
Pip Kissinger, Ronald Groover, and Rick Crawford are the officials here this afternoon. Tried to the interior pass for the UCF transfer, Tom facing his former team. Baba Miller penetrates inside a late dish. Huge collision on the block, and it'll send the big to the free throw line.
Well, you just got a pretty good look there at what Baba Miller does at 6'11", the way this kid can beat his man off the dribble and make passes. He's one of 2 players in the country that averages 13+ points, 10+ rebounds, and 3+ assists. This is a very, very talented kid.
Butler's Michael Ajayi, the only other one with those numbers. Cham at the line. So he played last season. The other team's jerseys, UCF for Johnny Dawkins. And what a year. He had 10 points per game, 6 boards, 2.5 blocks as an 18-year-old freshman.
Well, how about this kid plays against Johnny Dawkins with Cincinnati this year at Central Florida, at UCF.
Off the missed free throw layup goes Jalen Celestine.
Well, that's something you never want to give up. But Cham had 24 points in that game against his former team.
And he was booed on nearly every touch.
Every possession.
It was like an NBA game where like a former free agent signee goes back to his former team. It was that kind of atmosphere. Miller on the run.
And, you know, Cincinnati is going to look. They had 9 steals in that first game against UCF, which kept them in the game. So they're going to want to put pressure, and they want to get up and down and get some easy baskets because they have struggled in the half court.
Jizzle James mid-range coming off of a season-high 18 in the win against West Virginia.
You know, in that game, he started out on fire, and then he missed like 8 or 9 shots in a row. So he's a little streaky at times. Got to keep that going.
That was a theme for Cincinnati in that game. Had a lead as large as 14, blew it in the second half, let it slip away against West Virginia right here at home. Google picks up the dribble. He's the team's leading scorer at 14.5 points per game. JaMychal Stillwell loses the ball in the lane, and it's gobbled up by Cham.
And that was the problem in that first game. Even though UCF ended up winning on a late shot by Fultz, they turned it over a lot.
James once more front rim. It was 73-72 UCF in a game that had 9 ties, 9 lead changes back on January 11th. Another turnover, and you had your eyes on that right at the top of the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key to keeping, for Cincinnati to stay in games, because especially live ball turnovers, because those lead to easy baskets. They had 17 fast break points in that first game, made a big difference and kept them in it.
And Cincinnati struggles so much on offense. If they could get some easy baskets in transition, it could go a long way.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is, Chris? The craziest thing about that game against UCF and Cincinnati, the first game, they had so many statistics in their favor and still lost.
How tough it can be as Kugel pulls up and knocks it down. He played last season at Mississippi State, his first 2, gets UCF on the board.
Yeah, Kugel has really made a big step this year in terms of becoming a much better player.
Cham, hook shot. That was a tough angle to flick it in.
This kid is getting better and better also.
13 games this season of double figures, and that was a wild pass from Fultz. You rarely see him make a mistake like that.
I mean, there's Kugel there pulling up on the J, but how about Cham with the deep, I guess that's pretty deep jump hook. And then Fultz, that last turnover, I mean, he's got 2 already. He had 3 in the game against Cincinnati the first time around.
It helped he had 12 assists to help set up the teammates en route to the 1-point win.
Well, he's the only player in UCF history to have back-to-back double-digit assist games.
He averages 7 assists per contest, which is top 10 in the country. This is a Cincinnati turnover. Johnson in off the bench. He delivers, and Kugel stuffs it with 2. 7-4 start. Cincinnati on top. Day Thomas too much. And Stillwell, one of what will likely be many rebounds. He leads the team with 8 boards per game.
And Day Thomas, he's really struggled. He's got 1 double-figure game in his last 9.
Kugel lines up a 3.
Tough shot.
It was contested. And Cham lassos in the rebound. Jizzle James, just shy of 11 points per game. He shoots a 3 at a 39% clip. Though Cincinnati is bottom in the country in most shooting categories. Celestine with the left hand, jets it back on the block. Second chance shot for Thomas, pump fakes, and takes the floater. It goes.
Well, they're in the bottom of the Big 12 in three-point shooting percentage, but they're number 3 in attempts. That's not usually a good combination.
So they take a lot and don't make many. Not great. Solid offensive start here, though. 9 of the game's first 13. Google keeping the defender at bay. He's got much more of a well-rounded game than what we saw at Mississippi State.
Yeah, he gets to the foul line, he'll take it to the basket. Good three-point shooter. Pretty big size difference in this matchup right now.
Yeah, tough matchup for Burks, but holds up well against the 7'2" center from Senegal.
Yeah, he made Cham just shoot a turnaround jumper.
Here's Bowl, off glass and in. So 2 centers from Africa going head-to-head. John Bowl from South Sudan. Cincinnati's lost 2 straight, 4 of their last 5. And that stretch immediately after they knocked off number 2 Iowa State.
Yeah, one thing about the nice pass there.
And a hack on the right block. John Bowl will pick up his second foul. So something to monitor the size for the UCF Knights, their center with 2. 9-6 Cincinnati in the early going. Inside the top 25. Their first time being ranked since 2019, which is the last time they made the NCAA tournament. Miller at the free throw line. He was fouled by John Bowl before the break for UCF center. That is his second foul.
And one thing Johnny Dawkins does not do usually is play somebody with 2 fouls in the first half.
Miller, a 65% free throw shooter, connects on the second.
And you know what? We're talking about some of the things that have gone wrong for Cincinnati. They're one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country, 66%. So they have not gotten offense from all over the place.
I feel like if there's a percentage next to the number, it's not very good right now for Cincinnati, but they can turn it around. Jordan Burks in the lane lays it in. Alabama product. Cincinnati prides themselves defensively with Wes Miller as the head coach. Keyshawn Tillery in off the bench. He's a freshman. Miller takes a lot of threes, doesn't make a lot of threes, except that time he's now 4 for 36 from 3.
I mean, when I saw that number on the stat sheet, I was like, I don't know if I've seen a guy make only 4, but usually had only 12 shot attempts or something.
How do you get up 35 if you've only made 3 all year? James takes this one.
Well, you know what the bizarre thing, though, is Bob Miller shot 34% last year from 3 and made like 35 of them.
Yeah.
So it's not like he can't, but he hasn't this year.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic, he was a decent volume shooter. Tillery, size mismatch, has the big on him, takes him to the rim. This to Miller in the corner, in and out. So he was feeling good after 1.
Yeah, if he made 2 in a row, if he made 2 in a row, it'd be like, but like I said, he is capable.
And that's more than capable. It's Chris Johnson. He's a 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah, he's a really good salt. And you know what? Interesting, I was going to say Fultz has been out for a while, but he's at the scorer's table to come back now.
Tillery weaves around a screen, uses that crab dribble to create some space, but turns it over. UCF can tie it with a 2, take the lead with a 3. Google, quick trigger. It was not touched and out of bounds. And we were talking about UCF and what they've built this season, thanks in large part to Themis Folks, who's reinserted. And there you see it. CBS Sports Bracketology has them as an 8 seed. They really don't have any bad losses.
No, they don't have any losses outside of Quad 1. So they have a very strong resume. There's no doubt about it. They just got to make sure they take care of business the rest of the way and not do anything crazy. But they should. They still got, West Virginia at home, TCU at home, Baylor at home, Oklahoma State at home. Those are all winnable games at home.
If they get in this year, it would be just their second tournament appearance in 20 years.
Well, you know, they were in the, when I first started doing games 20 years ago, 25 years ago, they were in the Atlantic Sun. So they've moved conference. They were in the American, they were in the Atlantic Sun. Now they're in the, maybe the best basketball conference in the country. Certainly one of the top two.
I don't want to tell you where I was 20 to 25
Yeah, I know.
Jump for the baseline, Chisholm James in second mid-range bucket.
What were you in?
To school, my lunchbox.
Kindergarten?
Taking my lunchbox to school, watching you do those games.
How about Pacheco's in the game? He's transferred from Mount St. Mary's. 99 of his 111 points this year from three.
Get him up.
You know what he's going to do.
And Fultz sets him up. Shot clock down to 4 on the block. Jeremy Fumeta, the fadeaway jumper, grazes the net. UCF, stellar job of getting back. Transition was an emphasis. Well, really both of these coaches talking to them before the game.
Yeah, Johnny Dawkins felt that the big issue in the first game, obviously the 9 steals led to so many fast break baskets. That hurt.
Excellent bounce pass, and Alvin Zella, who's a sophomore from France, deposits 2.
You know, Cincinnati's been able to get some pretty good penetration in the half court, getting into the lane and getting some easy ones.
Both teams shooting near 50% in the early going. Fultz always can get into the paint, and when he does, he knows where everybody is on the floor.
Yeah, he's got his head up all the time, and like you said, he just knows where everybody is.
It's hard to keep him from getting outside of that black paint. Here's Burks, and he draws the contact as Zella came rotating over to commit his first foul.
Well, the Bearcats
challenges on a game-in, game-out basis. Wes Miller, of course, that loss to West Virginia was a painful one. And after the game, relaying to the fans, like, hey, he understands the struggles. You deserve to be frustrated with some of the results, saying it's not okay, but feels like he has the bunch that can turn it around.
Listen, coaching college basketball, these guys get paid well, but it's a tough job. And it's a very emotionally draining job, especially when things aren't going great.
Come in, dropping a couple in a row. Solid start, though, in this one at home. They are 11-3 at home. All 11 of their wins have come in Cincinnati.
I'll tell you, Jermichael Stillwell's not giving up any ground. You know, John started with like a 13-footer and ended up at a 16-footer because Stillwell wouldn't let him go.
That strength. Stillwell, just a sturdy 245 pounds. 2 hands on the body on the catch from Cambridge.
Now you watch Stillwell here, undersized compared to John, but he is not letting him get into that lane for anything, bodying him up.
It's about a 4 or 5 inch height difference, but really only a 5-pound weight difference. That strength showed itself there.
And John is a young player, and like I said, he had 24, and he's really made big improvements this year. 24 in that first game against UCF. So this kid's going to be really good. He's got to get strong.
Well, they go at it on the other side of the court. Double team comes, kick out to Cambridge, looks around, says, why not? Off right side in Miller skies.
You know, that's a good job. Cincinnati doubled the baseline that time. They gave up an open 3. And that's what you're going to do when you double like that. They just got to hope UCF doesn't make it.
Cambridge is just a 31% three-point shooter as Tillery draws the contact and will head to the line.
This kid Tillery's starting to get better. He had his best game of the year against Houston. He had 14 points in that game. So he's a freshman. He's getting better and better.
A former top 50 recruit out of New York. Sean Tillery, you can see the numbers there, but yeah, you highlighted that Houston game. And if you could set your career high in scoring as a freshman against that defense.
Well, put it this way. In the last game, Houston played Central Florida. Central Florida didn't have one guy in double figures. Not one. And this is a team that can score. That's what Houston does to you.
Tillery's free throw goes. And yes, we've talked about the shooting struggles from Cincinnati. And that's a good face to describe what it does to a head coach.
Oh, boy, you're not kidding. And then you get a team like St. Louis, on the other hand, they're at the 50, 40, 90, where in terms of field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and free throw percentage.
Oh,
that's why they have one loss.
Josh Schertz, what he's doing in the Atlantic 10 with the Billikens. That is one of the great stories in college basketball this season. Tie up just outside the lane. The arrow will keep it here.
Boy, Fultz has been really out of sorts so far. That should have been another turnover right there. I mean, take a look here. That's almost a turnover. Obviously, they got the arrow, but
he was holding me.
He's been a little lax with the ball in this game, and this is a kid that I really like, and Johnny Dawkins loves, and with good reason.
Talked about not just his ability to create for others, but leadership skills.
Both him and Stillwell, he was raving about, who both came from the University of Milwaukee.
Former teammates. Right wing three, in and out from Pacheco. Loose ball rebound to the opposite corner, and Stillwell picks it up. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. Here's Pacheco again. Misses back-to-back.
I think Fultz got to shoot that one. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was so unselfish. That was a good pass. Got an open three, but he had like a 6-footer in the lane.
A 6-point Cincinnati lead.
And you know, this kid did have 30 against Arizona.
And Day Thomas fades away and hits. Last year in the 2 games that Cincinnati faced UCF, Thomas put up an average of 20 points per game. He killed them last year. Stillwell from the elbow, bank shot. That's usually not your angle to do it.
He definitely wasn't trying to bank that.
He had 15 and 4 in these teams' first meeting. Thomas against Fultz. Quick first step, bobbles the basketball out of bounds. It'll belong to the Knights.
You know, that's been a problem for Cincinnati during the year. Offensively, as we talked about, they've had a lot of problems. Turning it over was also one of their problems. They've had over 12 turnovers a game. They're near the bottom of the Big 12 in that category also.
Jizzle James reinserted. He's from Orlando. He went to high school, at Olympia High School, about 20 miles away from where UCF plays.
And you know, Westmoreland doesn't talk about it, but they lost a very, very important guy in Jalen Haynes before the year even started. And this kid was one of the best players in the Atlantic 10.
It's time for the Intuit TurboTax player profile. It focuses in on Jizzle James, who was removed from the team in July and reinserted back on December 17th. So this is just his 14th game since he was removed. Really, it was made public in August. Coach Miller says the move happened back in July. Johnson along the baseline, whips to Burks, who delivers.
Burks and Kugel are 2 really good shooting wings.
Burks at 38%, Kugel at 39%, both do it high volume. Jama Rainbow. He's made 6 threes and now 28 attempts. Quick trigger on the opposite side. Jordy Rodriguez, who's a little used freshman. 6'6" guard, steps into that one with confidence.
8 minutes a game in 12 games this year.
Things working for Cincinnati in the game's first 12 minutes. Although they commit the foul here, will result in free throws coming up for Johnson. Cincinnati doing a good job to start this one, a 6-point lead. Chris Johnson, though, was fouled before the break. Foul was on Miller. And Johnson cashes out on the first free throw. Played in just 3 games last season for Stephen F. Austin. His first season was spent at Texas, where he played 17. .73% free throw shooter, makes both. Jordy hit a 3, last possession for Cincinnati. Rodriguez, who's just a freshman. Harris pull up from the mid-range, and that is the 3rd basket from outside the lane, but inside the 3-point line for a Bearcat guard.
And you know, Sincere Harris really being a pull-up shooter, not one of his strengths, made a good one there.
Under 7 points per game, muscle inside, Burks can't get it, and Rodriguez pulls the board. James seems to always have a hop, skip, and a jump in his step whenever he has it in his hands. That time off the front iron. Miller volleys the rebound. It's scooped up by Harris. James dishes, deflected away by Stillwell.
That time he left his feet, really not knowing where to go.
How about Kugel against 3 Bearcats undeterred?
I'm telling you, this kid, you're going to see him playing in the NBA someday.
6'5" senior from Orlando. Went to Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando. Rodriguez, though. Miller taps. Kugel grabs.
Trying to get the tempo up a little bit, UCF, because scoring against this half court can be challenging. Good move, ball movement that time.
Station to station. Kugel usually makes those open ones. Another chance for UCF. Stillwell is one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. Here's Kugel, teardrop, skies it up and in. And a timeout call by Wes Miller. Lee trimmed the 2 as UCF finding their...
Really has a lot of things.
And came in struggling over his last 2, just 9 points in each of those games. He had 9 straight contests of 10 points or more before that hiccup. He has already 8 in the first half here. Tillery off a screen, halfway down. Offensive rebound, Cincinnati, they give it away. Stillwell.
You know, they've been getting on the glass pretty good. And one thing about UCF, they are one of the better defensive rebounding teams in the country.
Stillwell screens. Folks, ball fake. That chemistry from their Milwaukee days. Folks and Stillwell look like they've been playing together for years.
Well, he can make that mid-range shot, Stillwell, and a good pass by Folks.
That's just his first assist of the ball game. He averages 7. 8th in the nation in helpers. 2nd in the conference. Baylor transfer. Jalen Celesti. Corner look, Harris knocks it down.
Wow.
And right in front of the UCF bench.
His three-point shooting was on a par with Baba Miller's coming into this game, and Sincere Harris knocks down a 3.
It was Harris and Miller who both came in with just 3 made threes. Harris 24 attempts, Miller 35 attempts. They've each hit a 3 in this first half. Johnny Dawkins has to be, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Miller rebounds that one, and he has the skills to take it up the floor himself like a gazelle, and he'll head to the line.
But you know, it's funny because Baba Miller, you sit there, you watch him. We saw him early in the game really trying to assert himself. And then now he's kind of like disappeared for a little bit. And you're saying, where's Baba Miller? This guy's too talented to not put his imprint on this entire game.
You mentioned the talent. He's oozing with what pros look like.
He's a
right?
pro.
6'11", long, athletic, just all dribble up the floor like that.
Pro, but he's got to bring it a little bit harder.
Back rims that free throw. Bringing in size with Jeremy Fumina. Speaking of size, his grandfather was 7'5" tall. Fumina himself is 6'11". Second for Miller, he splits. It's only he and JT Toppin in the Big 12 who are averaging a double-double. 13.5 points and 10.5 rebounds per game for Miller. He'll sit down. Jam in, the man in the middle. UCF has not led in this game. Burks, left side of the lane. Celestine held out well defensively.
Really good defense by Celestine.
Hillary bounces. Thunders it through.
Big man running the floor hard there.
Weekend headlines.
I'm not mentioning his school. See, no, I'm not doing it because of Wally Zerbiak, and I don't know what he thinks. I keep telling him, I said, better relax. They better not lose before their tournament. That's all I'm telling you.
Of course, the MAC tournament semifinals are on CBS Sports Network coming up in March.
But Travis Steele has done an unbelievable job there at Miami of Ohio. He was coaching Xavier, and it's phenomenal what they're doing, no doubt, in spite of Wally Zerbiak.
I'm sure he lets you guys know on every
Oh,
occasion
my God.
what's going on there.
He'd let you know if they won 6 games.
Stillwell That's a size advantage on the freshman Tillery, so the double comes with a force feed into the lane, deflected away, steals Cincinnati. Tillery rewarded with a tough bucket, and he deflects Cincinnati a bait. They've scored 8 in a row.
Yeah, UCF got back in this game, tied it up, and now all of a sudden that defense, and you go in the corner and get on the baseline with them, and they're going to trap you there and cause all kinds of problems.
And Tillery getting out into the open court, 3 points, a game in 10 minutes. Eight of 14 now for the free throw line this season.
Yeah, that's, I mean, their free throw shooting has been really an Achilles heel all year.
Volk step back three. Said he's not much of a score-first guard, although he has the ability. You mentioned the 30 that he had against Arizona as Jean Bull. There was nobody around a 7'2" sophomore to box him out.
That was a bizarre rebound. There wasn't a person near him. How could that be possible?
He not only went up with nobody near him, he came down with nobody near him, and then went back up with still nobody near him.
Yeah, I think he was just really surprised.
Celestine chisels. Stillwell cuts him off. Shot clock down to 6. Chom takes the 3. Burks boxes out. And Harris was the one to deflect it.
Well, you take a look here at this shot. Look at Bull. I mean, there were 4 white shirts near him.
I don't think he blends in necessarily, too. He's 7'2".
He's wearing a black shirt. Everybody else is wearing white.
He's got tall hair as well, like the flow there. So yeah, there's nothing subtle.
Hard to disappear.
Stillwell faces up. Miller defends. Fun matchup. 2 guys who could score in, rebound. Johnson pull up free throw line. Rebound swatted. Each team had a hand on it. It'll stay on this end. The shot clock reset to 20. Should be my ball. No, it's my ball. It'll cause a little bit of a disruption on the playground.
Yeah.
Miller tapped it, but it does hit the sideline. Boy, Cincinnati's defense, when they're going well, it starts on this side of the floor, and we're seeing what it looks like when it's at its best in the first half.
No, I mean, no doubt. I mean, they're holding a pretty good offensive team to 40% from the field right now.
Johnson weaves around a couple of screens to catch the inbounds pass. Bull rolls to the basket. Johnson spins off the defender, short on the jumper.
And this is what Baba Miller really, think about it. He just got the rebound, and then he's able to bring the ball up the floor.
Cincinnati shooting 48%. Tillery was a wild pass to the opposite side corner with one hand. 11 to shoot for Cincinnati. Volk's back in. See the guard duo of Tillery and James. Right now it's James across half court. Shot clock down to 7. Quick first step, draws the attention of 2. Another deflection, that time Kugel. Shot clock at 1. Chom. They're playing Twister down there. They can't find the basketball. Shot clock violation.
See, UCF likes to run drop coverage with Bull. So if he drops, you got to pull up for that 14, 13-foot jump shot if they're going to give that to you.
And we've seen 3 times in this game already Cincinnati be satisfied with that mid-range jumper and make it.
And make it, exactly. And that's what they're giving them, coming off that pick and roll.
2 go to Kugel. Burks thought about it. Another spin, go-to move for the Knights early on in this game.
Chom got a piece of that, though. That was really nice defense by Chom there.
Tillery had numbers, but didn't have an angle to deliver. Celestine, a lefty shooter, counted.
And that's what he does. The bulk of his shots are three-point shots, and he's been a very good three-point shooter his entire career.
9-point lead, the largest lead of the game for the Bearcats. Remember, they had a strong first half against West Virginia. That led by as many as 14 early second half. Chom swats that one. 2-on-2 the other way. Tillery knocked away. Under a minute to go. Bowl screens for Kugel. Rolls, didn't expect it. And Chom right into his breadbasket. Still well deflected that one. Tillery sends. Celestine launches. Oh, yeah! He has 8 for Cincinnati, who's up 12.
You know, another guy who's had a career of good three-point shooting and hasn't shot it great this year has made 2 now.
Yeah, his career 37% three-point shooter, down to the low 30% this year. About 3 seconds of separation between the two clocks. And Folks is fouled. Cincinnati had a foul to give. In fact, they have another to give, although minimal separation between the clocks. Now shot clock turned off.
I'm not a big fan of that, giving a foul in this situation here, but I guess they figure with a guy like Tillery who comes off the bench, you don't really want one of your starters to be given a foul. You never know what's going to come up in the second half.
This foul is valuable for the guys who play those starters minutes. So if you're going to do it, you're right. Make it somebody who doesn't play as many. Carmelo Pacheco, as UCF makes a change to get more offense on the floor for this final look, and nobody picks up Pacheco.
Wow, that was a big mistake. They were very fortunate there.
And Chom gets the rebound off the second shot. Miller from half court, and that'll do it for the first 20. Cincinnati closes the first half, Coach Lapp.
Just like Coach Miller's been frustrated. So, you know, they were a little quiet early, but at the end of the half, as you said, they picked it up.
A 40-28 lead. Cincinnati ball to begin the second half. Jizzle James, 4 points. Here's Miller.
What a
Spins
move.
off of Kugel. No whistle, then a late whistle. He was wondering where it was at the beginning of his attack to the basket, but they do get Kugel for his first.
Yeah, I think we all, how about that spin move? Oh, clearly a foul. Ball should have just gone straight up there.
They do get Kugel, though, is the one who commits the foul, his first. So Miller to shoot a pair, 65% from the line.
And, you know, Cincinnati, in their game against West Virginia, they were up 14 in that game at one point and ended up losing. So, you know, they've had a history of doing this in games, being ahead and not being able to finish it off. Let's see if they'll be able to do that today.
And the numbers in the second half were abysmal for Cincinnati in that game. As Miller hits the second. West Virginia outscored them 14-0 bench points, had an 11-2 margin off of turnovers, and made 6 of their 12 threes in the second half against Cincinnati.
Yeah, Honor Huff went completely berserk.
Stillwell off the back rim, and James chases. UCF
Good
is
pass.
down to 33% shooting. Miller did find Chom inside. Gets it back off the deflection, and the ball ricochets up top of the rim. Not the smoothest dunk, but you'll take it.
You know, that rim was moving. In other words, he dunked that. He hung on the rim for a second, and then the ball went in. They might have been able to disallow that, I think.
The offensive basket interference. If you hold on to the rim, the ball goes above the rim.
That rim was shaking when that ball went in.
Burks against Celestine. Chom chasing. Again, UCF denied. Miller with a quick first step. On the pass, gets fouled. Celestine said, why didn't you shoot it?
But you take a look here. He hangs for a split second and goes in. That rim was moving.
Up and then down. And that rim was shaking.
It was shaking.
John Bull, that last foul is his third for UCF, their starting center. Cincinnati trying to break a 2-game losing streak. There's a foul, the three launch. And the officials will come together to make sure that one counts. But A.A. Thomas Perfect on a three-pointer.
Yeah, they're going
Count
to
the
check.
basket.
They're going to check the timing, I think, on that, unless they're sure that it would happen. Let's see here. That was before the shot. It's close. There's the foul.
Foul.
I don't.
Was he in the shooting motion when the foul occurred?
Wow, that was close. Well, are they going to take a look?
Wes Miller wants them to count it. So far, they haven't gone to the monitor. Here's another look.
Yeah, it's not something you can challenge. Something that the referees are supposed to go check themselves. They obviously, I guess they counted it, right? Yeah. Yep.
For now, it counts. Well, Cincinnati has the ball off of it. But you would think if it counted,
they put it on the scoreboard, right?
Yeah. There's a foul on the right block. We'll get this clarified here. That's a big swing play. Stillwell commits that foul, his third.
Yeah, they counted the basket. So they thought it was a foul on the floor on the screener, but they thought it was after the shot. I thought it was not after the shot. That's the thing that I thought. I thought it was at least lookable. I thought it was close enough to look at it, I think.
Miller hits the first free throw. So this is a chance for Cincinnati to continue to build a lead.
There's the foul there. I think the foul happens before he gets into his motion. I know it's a split second. It's not, it's fast, but I thought the foul happened before the shot.
And if it happened before the shot, that would mean that the three would be taken off the board and to be a new possession.
Instead, they got the three, and they got the ball out of bounds because of the foul.
And then they get a couple of free throws after that. So a huge possession for Cincinnati there. Mark that one down early in the second half. Be able to swing 5 points, and Stillwell muscles his way inside to respond.
When he gets to his right hand, he takes it to the basket really hard. Got to make him go the other way.
James with the high screen set. Chom, who's taken a couple of threes in this game, hasn't made many of his three-point attempts. That ball knocked out of bounds and just 6 on the shot clock.
UCF just, they haven't brought it today. That's, just not in it from the beginning. And obviously, Johnny Dawkins frustrated with Fultz, took him out again.
Tiptoe in the baseline. Thomas, everything but the basket.
And they don't really have a backup point guard. Chris Johnson's playing the backup point. Oh, good move there.
I could do some things with the ball in my hands. It's all the way to the rim to lay it in. What does UCF need to do to get some stops? Oddly enough, it's Cincinnati's offense that has been rolling.
They got to get some fire going on both ends of the floor. They just haven't played with a lot of fire today. And having Fultz, that's a bad shot. Wow.
It says take that, coach.
You told me.
James, 39% from 3. Johnson trying to go backdoor.
I mean, he's got a good assist to turnover ratio, but he's only got 33 assists on the season. He's not Fultz.
And then a foul on the seal with Miller getting position.
Tough shot.
First foul on Cambridge. James coming off of a season-high 18. Fultz sitting on the bench. Mentioned, can't get the scoring going and really not creating much offensively for Coach Dawkins' team.
No, this is one of his worst games of the year, if not the worst.
And for perspective, he has 5 games this year with 10 or more assists. Thomas went behind the back. Miller didn't expect. UCF numbers the other way. Kugel delivers, and a quick layup by Burks. Got into the glass in time.
Well, you got to get some stops and then just get out and transition a little bit.
So a big swing, a Cincinnati 5-point possession, a 3-pointer, a foul deemed on the screen. So another Cincinnati possession off of the make, and they got 2 free throws. John from the mid-range, free throw line J is perfect.
Really easy, though. I mean, that wasn't much resistance on that one.
19-year-old sophomore, reclassified to play college basketball last season. Will they be able to contain the dynamic guard? They've contained Themis Fultz, which is the headline story through the first half and change here in Cincy. UCF's top playmaker has been held without a point and only has a couple of dimes.
I mean, think about it. In the first game, he only had 6 points, but he had 12 assists in that first game. He was one of the dominant things in that game.
Right now, he is on the bench for Coach Dawkins. Google pulls up and delivers. Double digits for Kugel. UCF trying to get back inside the top 25. We're ranked early in January for the first time since 2019. Right now, it's all Cincinnati in their building. Thomas maneuvers, Burks defends, another bobbled catch. Zella, the bigs have had a couple of tough catches on the inside for the Bearcats. Johnson, who's been playing that backup point guard role, leaves for Stillwell. Too much.
Yeah, he's made 10 of those, 10 for 30 on the season. Not his strength. Oh, tough.
Zella grabbed that one. That was maybe a more difficult catch than the one he had before that he couldn't contain. He's fouled.
And you're going to see word.
Going to be a Kelsey farewell to Cincy guy.
I think people thought the Ravens were going to have a much better year, too.
So I got to go. Where are you leaning?
Wow. You know, I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about Seattle. I've watched the Patriots a lot, but have not seen Seattle a bunch. But, you know, people are picking Seattle. I think the Patriots. My son-in-law is a Patriots fan. He grew up in West Hartford, so I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, stick with the East Coast team, Zella. It's on both of these free throws. Yeah, the Seahawks being the favorite, but I don't know, something about the combination of Drake May and Mike Vrabel. Hard to pick against a coach quarterback combination like that. Chris Johnson races in transition.
I will say this: I am rooting for Sam Darnold because I'm a tortured Jet fan, and you know, I feel good for the kid that he's been able to get to this point. And now you see UCF changing defense, going to a zone defense.
That's a true fan when you want your team to be embarrassed as much as it can be.
It doesn't take me to do that to the New York Jets, I have to say.
Mid-range Jay, a little much from Harris. See if UCF can get a couple in a row. Team that's usually solid offensively, a good three-point shooting team. Pride percentage.
Yeah, all their percentages are great offensively, but not today. Nice move.
And that was a gorgeous take. Jordan Burks. And it'll strut to the stripe. A chance at a three-point play. Tillery's second foul.
That really was not good defense by a team that normally really defends well.
And Burks does knock it down. He's the team's best free throw shooter at 86%. Cincinnati had a lead as large as 14 last time out against West Virginia in the second half, and it went away.
And now you got to start attacking this zone. You got to get it to the foul line right there. That's where you've got to get it.
Harris wasn't ready to shoot. Shot clock is down to 5, and number 5 feeds the paint. Zella with a shot clock at 2. Teammates telling him to shoot it. He does!
Left-handed jump hook, nice move. And I tell you what Central Florida, what UCF does, they go zone and then they go man-to-man at the end of the shot clock, which is what they did there.
Cambridge needed that one. It rattles through. He shoots it at a 31% clip. His first 3 points of the afternoon.
And they're using their 2-2-1 three-quarter court pressure now.
James knocked away from him. That press worked. But Cincinnati regathers possession. James steps into this one. Miller up top high. Miller erupts.
I'll tell you, he threw a nice pass across the court too, and then he gets that rebound. He skied for that one.
11 points for Miller. He's made 6 of 8 from the line, alters that one and gets called for the foul.
You're going to see Bob Miller here. Nobody puts a body on him. He goes up and snatches that one.
We brought it up, the consistency. You can find that. All the physical tools
are there. And even though he has shot the ball horribly from 3 this year, last year he shot 34% from the three-point line, so he's obviously capable.
Did that at FAU, started his college career at Florida State with Fumena at the line, connecting on the first. Zella checks out, Chom back in.
But I mean, if this kid can make threes at a, 30, 33% clip with all the other things he does, sky's the limit.
One of the areas of his game that's getting better, his ability to attack that glass.
And he's a very good passer.
Second free throw off the mark. Lead trimmed to 15. It was as large as 21.
And they're sticking with this 1-3-1 defense to start out. Then it gets late in the possession. Now they matched up man-to-man. Maybe after 2, 3 passes, then they match up man-to-man like they are now.
Yeah. That takes a lot of communication as Kugel whistled there, and that is team foul number 7. So the 1-and-1 coming up for Cincinnati. There's still 12-16 to go.
And you know what? I remember, oh, now I went blank. I should coach at LSU years ago. Come on, you won't even know.
How long are we talking?
Dale Brown.
Dale Brown, okay.
Dale Brown, what he used to do was he would play a certain defense if he brought the ball up the right side of the floor and a certain defense if he brought the ball up the left side of the floor and change it up like that. So very interesting. He used to call it the freak defense. Not too many people know that.
The freak defense. I know we've had a lot of just like pioneer defensive styles. I know John Chaney with the matchup zone there and how unique that was.
That was, you know what was unique about it? More than the fact that it was a matchup 1-3-1 type zone was how aggressive it was in terms of pressuring you.
Johnson from deep. How about the athleticism? Mustafa Sham to go up to get that one.
Yeah, this kid's got potential too.
Sets the screen. Thomas lost it on the way up. Cincinnati still shooting 54%. Came in as a team just 42% from the floor. Harris, elbow J, Cash. Sincere Harris right on his average of 7. Johnson, same spot, opposite side of the floor.
And I think Johnny Dawkins looks like he might be done with Fultz for this game.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's been in. He was in to start this half, but removed early, and you're right, have not seen the assist leader since. Tillery, hesitation, acceleration, but erased by Cambridge.
And good job by Cincinnati getting back on defense that time.
So George Beal Jr. It's only his 5th game played in conference play. He's in. Johnson hunts this 3, puts it in.
This kid's going to be a good player.
So Chris Johnson, averaging just 6 per game, knocks that one down for his 14th. He's 3 shy of his career high, and UCF within 12.
Now they go back to their straight man-to-man.
And to your point, Coach, of earlier, it's been 7 minutes since Fultz has been in the game. And UCF making their run. Off the dribble jumper, it's short, and rebound grab by Johnson.
You don't want Sincere Harris taking a shot from that deep. And I was going to say Bob Miller's time to come back in. It's Miller time again.
I know Super Bowl Sunday is a Miller time type of day, right?
Yeah.
62-50 time. only has 2 assists, but UCF making a run without one of the conference's assist leaders in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Dawkins had seen enough, and look at this.
George Beal Jr. right off the inbounds. He catches a 3, back within single digits with 10 to go.
And you know, if you're a team like Cincinnati that's been snake bit a little bit, giving up some big leads and lost, now these kids start thinking it.
Uh-oh, here we go again. Miller stumbles. That's a turnover, Cincinnati. The last time this game was single digits, 37-28.
Yeah, I mean, here's where you got to really keep it together.
You talk about the 2 West Virginia games for Cincinnati. A game at Xavier, a game against Georgia, even against Houston, UCF the first game. Those were all contests that Cincinnati led, but could not close out. And Beal hits again. George Beal Jr., just 8 minutes per game. This is only his 17th game played of the year. His back-to-back triples cap off an 11-0 run.
And another guy comes into this game with 12 of his 18 field goals on the year 3, so you know what he does. And right now, Cincinnati's got to be thinking, Wes Miller's got to be thinking, like, are you kidding me?
John, face-up Jay, needed it. He's in double figures.
Well, they got to start to defend that three-point line now. I mean, we know this UCF's a good three-point shooting team. They came into this game doing that well. Now they're starting to hit them.
Johnson has been the point guard in this stretch. Him, Beal, Pacheco can all shoot it. Here's Beal, takes it to the rim. Ball chased the rebound. Thomas was the one to touch it first, and Cincinnati grabs Miller on the run. James steps into it, launches, bullseye!
Boy, making shots can make up for a lot of things, and that's what Cincinnati's doing. They're making shots today.
How about that for a counter punch from Coach Miller's team?
Those are 2 big baskets by Chom and Jizzle James.
Beal, who's hit 2 threes in this most recent stretch, tries to get it off glass. Too aggressive that time. And the son of Edgerrin James, Jizzle James, is fouled.
Okay, we got 8 minutes to go. He's been our guy all year. Let's see if he can bring it.
James at the line. Remember, UCF had 6 fouls within the first 5 minutes of the second half. So they got to the 1-and-1 situation quickly. James, one of 3 Bearcats in double figures.
And Cincinnati with just 3 fouls.
Kugel to bring it across. Bump and an offensive foul. So they did not have Fultz, who's the point guard, bring it across. Instead it was Riley Kugel, and that's a big call because it's number 4.
Yeah, Day Thomas with a great job of he stuck his left arm out. It's a pretty easy call. Right there, you see that left arm go.
So he's the team's leading scorer this season at 14.5 points per game. He now has 4 personals. So he heads to the bench. Johnson back in. Seven 0 Cincinnati run after UCF got it back within single digits. Miller off the screen and roll. Lobs! That is gorgeous basketball. Tom with the exclamation point against his former team. Johnson dribbled it off a shoe. Fultz gets it back. Can he get going? Setting up his teammate out Milwaukee. Stillwell double team, fades away and rattles it in. Back to a 13-point game with 7:15 left. Miller already hit a 3, just his 4th of the year in the first half. James wants 3. Down the wall. His dad played in the Super Bowl. Back with the Arizona Cardinals, Super Bowl 43. Trying to win on Super Bowl Sunday is the son.
Things look a lot better when you go 9 for 15 from the three-point line.
Foul on James.
Take a look at how Bob Miller here comes, and now you're going to see Johnny Bull, right? Stop it. He's kind of in no man's land here. He's not really attacking the ball, but he's not able to get back to Chom either. And that's why they're able to complete the lob.
Exactly what you're looking for, setting up the pick and roll game. Inbounds to Stillwell, a couple of head fakes, and then misses on the inside. That kind of day for UCF. Miller handles, he's 6'11". Deep stat pivot, Celestine drives. Celestine chisels it in. Cincinnati roars. With a foul on Folks.
Well, you got to give them credit because this game got really close after having a big lead. Now they just extended it out again. And now Folks I think he's done for the night now.
You brought up the plus minus. It was rough in the first half. He came back in for UCF, and Cincinnati puts together another run. Celestine, who's now the fourth Bearcat in double figures.
Well, I think part of Wes Miller's approach with Folks today was if he gets in the lane and he scores, he scores. Let everybody stay on your men. And that's why he wasn't able to get any assists today, because they weren't leaving their man to help on him, ever.
Wheel back in, misses the three. Thomas grabs the rebound and he's fouled. But it's interesting because you go to the skills of Folks. He showed he has the ability to score if you do stay on shooters.
But I think the feeling was, okay,
That's
if he
the lesser
scores,
of two
I'd
evils.
rather him score than get 12 assists.
In this game, he hasn't impacted the game
At
either
all.
way, scoring or assists. Bull, that last foul is fourth.
I think with him, coaches would rather test him as a scorer than test him as a passer.
And in this one, has not passed the test in Cincinnati. And you look at a lot of the advanced metrics, the efficiency numbers, they are by a lot of metrics a top 15 defense in the country. Dede Thomas cashes the first. One of those days, Cole heads out with the 4 fouls. UCF team that started the season 12-1. Had a stellar start to the year in the non-conference. Big 12 is different. Cambridge needs it. Stillwell does save possession for the Knights. Burks one-on-one. Celestine defends. Two-handsy. Jalen Celestine called.
I'll tell you, that's Stillwell. He can extend possessions for you.
He averages over 3 offensive rebounds per game. Rare trip to the line. Just free throws 4 and 5 in the half for UCF.
And that's another area. Usually Cincinnati doesn't shoot a lot of free throws. They've already made 15 in this game.
Free throw ends what was a 7-0 run. But only splits. Thomas one-on-one. Stillwell retreats, and Thomas takes and makes. 3 fingers in the air. Cincinnati feeling it. A double-digit three-point made game. The team that struggles to shoot it.
He just decides, I'm going to just pull up here and take it.
Feeling it. 10 made threes. Johnson off the inbounds. Miller swatted it to the baseline, but they say it was last touched by Stillwell. How surprising is the way Cincinnati is executing on the offensive end?
Making shots. You know, I used to tell my assistants all the time, I said, you know, we got to do this, yeah. The name of the game is basketball. You have to make baskets.
Put the ball.
And when you make baskets, good things happen. That's important.
What's the term, make or miss league? You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, when the ball goes in, you look like a better coach.
No question. Yeah, I mean, how good does Cincinnati look today?
They look strong because those type of shots have been going in, not this time. 2-on-1, Johnson accelerates, throws it down. Still, though, 20-point deficit. That 22-point lead that Cincinnati had before that dunk was the largest lead the Bearcats have had in Big 12 play this season. Back to 22! And Bob Miller flexes, and might get called for a technical there.
Yep.
Yeah, he flexed right in the vicinity of a night. But he's trying to say good night as the Bearcats lead by 22.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, he didn't really do it right in the face of anybody.
He did not.
He just did it.
He gave the muscle flex, gave the flex.
Yeah. He's been in the weight room, wants to let you know.
But I mean, you know, he gave the flex, and he didn't go into somebody's face and do it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah, he just wanted you to know he's up to 225 pounds.
Yeah, I don't think that deserved a technical foul. If he went up to somebody and did it, that'd be a different story.
This is a guy, again, we talked about the physical profile. Miller was 6'2" at 14 years old. Burks takes the straightaway three. How about Miller going up top, nearly grabbed it. Stillwell, second chance, no.
And that's why he learned how to be such a good ball handler.
Stillwell, the Knights just Moses Maloning the ball near the basket. And finally, Cambridge deposits two. 2-on-1, Celestine to Cham, who takes.
I would not have shot that.
Yeah, that's a quick one, Coach, and that ball goes out of bounds. So he didn't take much time off the clock. Still a 19-point game, 4 and change.
Yeah, that's one he shouldn't have taken. Should have chopped another 15 seconds off the clock for sure.
Certainly a disappointing afternoon for UCF. And they haven't had what you would classify as a bad loss really all year. How about the Day-Day Thomas ability to grab that rebound, but they say it's a foul.
That was a big-time rebound, no doubt.
A loss that last time out, Cincinnati, Coach Miller said was unacceptable. Cincinnati has responded in kind. Stillwell with the step back. This would be, for UCF, their first Quad 2 loss this season. All of their losses prior to this were in Quad 1.
Well, they're going to be rooting for Cincinnati the rest of the year, hoping that they can move into the Quad 1.
The net in the mid-80s coming into this game.
It's not
for
impossible,
Cincinnati.
especially in that league.
Right. Coming up next for Cincinnati, we mentioned that game against Kansas State on CBS Sports
They
Network.
just have to get into the top 75 for this to be a Quad 1 loss.
Road inside the top 75 is Quad 1. But yeah, the next two for Cincinnati are Kansas and then Utah.
Whoa.
Trying to make sure they preserve this one before they look too far ahead. It was the active hands of Burks creating the steal. He goes up, draws the foul against Cham. So 2:41 left, a 17-point game, and the Knights can slice in.
You got to pick up that loose ball there. Cham tries to dribble it to himself. You'll see right here. Right now, he's got that dribble with the left hand. He needed to pick it up right then.
And then commits a foul on the other end. Burks, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 4 of 11 shooter. He's a good shooter and hits both of those. Against this press, can Cincinnati execute and preserve their 4th win in Big 12 play? Miller, aggressive to the rim, hammer through.
This kid, boy, he's got a lot. Got a lot in his bag of tricks.
Johnson off a screen, and Miller adds to his bag. A feel-good performance for Cincinnati. Well, they want their Bengals to one day get Joe Burrow back to the Super Bowl. Well, on Super Bowl Sunday, this is an excellent performance. Jalen Celesti caps it off.
I mean, this team has been offensively challenged all year. They got 88.
Last time they scored 80, you got to go back to the game against Lipscomb back on December 29th. It had been a while for Cincinnati. Well, you're saying you want to see that rematch?
No.
I didn't
say that. I didn't go that far. Let them beat the guys in their league.
Yes,
They'll mess with the Big 12. It's okay.
94 seconds to go. UCF continuing with their aggressive defense, but the headline for the Knights, really one of the roughest games all year for Themis Folks. The point where he only played limited minutes in the second half. And Cincinnati's defense
Clearly did not have it from the beginning of the game.
Cincinnati's defense gets a lot of credit for that. Well coached Wes Miller did an excellent job coming up with a game plan. Stillwell is fouled. It's one thing for Cincinnati you don't want to do with a minute left. Upcoming for UCF, that West Virginia, TCU, Utah. Then you get that game against BYU on the 24th.
I'm not saying it's easy, but that's as easy a schedule as you can have in the Big 12. No Houston, no Arizona, no Iowa State. You know what I mean? No, those are some tough games. I'm not saying they're not, but you could have tougher games.
But to be fair, coming off of the game against Houston, UCF hung in there a little bit, but Houston did what Houston does. This was supposed to be a part of that quote-unquote easier stretch, starting with this game against Cincinnati.
Yes, you are right about that. That is started it, but you got to go out and play no matter what, especially when you go on the road.
That's what I said. This league,
play.
there is no time to exhale.
No. I'm not trying to insinuate that any of those are given.
Absolutely not. This highlights how strong this league is more than anything. Right now, CBS Sports bracketology had 8 tournament teams in the Big 12, 8 in the net top 50. UCF came in with a net of 44. Miller, oh yeah! It has been Miller time for the Bearcats.
Yeah, he's been spectacular. So solid in this game.
He's balanced all across the board. 17 points, 9 boards, 5 assists. Add 1 more rebound to his total. So a double-double for one of 2 players in the conference that averages a double-double. Not what we expected coming in. A Cincinnati offensive onslaught. Their offense supersized on Super Bowl Sunday, 92-72.